The arena reeked of sweat, rust, and alien blood, most of it still steaming beneath the glare of twin suns. Thousands filled the stands, scaled, feathered, furred, or slick-skinned bodies roaring in a dozen dialects as the next contender was dragged out through iron gates. The guards shoved him forward without ceremony, a human, dirty, limping, hands bound behind his back with cable wire that looked scavenged from a broken freighter. His face was bruised, but his eyes, hidden under a mess of unkempt black hair, still glittered with something the guards didn't recognize. He squinted at the crowd, then smirked. Nice turnout. Is this supposed to be an intergalactic carnival? Who's performing? Universal Opera, or just another public execution? No one laughed, though his translator chip worked hard to twist sarcasm into something vaguely understandable. A three-eyed noble in jeweled robes hissed. His slud-like companion looked positively insulted. From the announcer's platform, a tall Korathi, 8 feet of robes, ego, and an overclocked vocal modulator, lifted one hand. Behold the final challenger of today's blood cycle, a creature from Sector 12, the primitives of the Sol system. You know them as humans. A murmur rippled through the arena. The last human had died quickly, snapping his own arm while trying to strike a crystalline warrior. 2 cycles ago, disappointing entertainment. Inside the cage, the human exhaled. Always starred with someone from Sol. Figures. Never a warm welcome. His tone was calm, even amused. One guard sneered, "You're about to die, Terran. Don't you fear the pickery?" The human tilted his head toward the brute. "Buddy, I once had a landlord who charged me triple rent for breathing too loudly. Compared to that, a space rhino with anger issues doesn't scare me." The guard blinked, then shoved him forward. At the bars, another prisoner watched, a thin, wiry figure with pale blue skin and wide, anxious eyes. Varen, of the aquatic Rythari species, evolved in deep seas and carried the nervous air of a scholar trapped in the wrong place. When the gates open, Varen whispered urgently, "Run left. There's a crack in the wall." Sometimes the pickery gets confused there. The human smirked. "Appreciate the tip, Guppy. But I'm not much of a runner." "You're insane," Varen stammered. "You've already accepted death." The man shrugged. "Let's just say death and I have an ongoing argument." "What's your name again?" "Varen. Varen of the Ice Spine Reef." "Cool. I'm Alex. Alex Kane. Earthborn, Brooklyn. Back before the drones got boring." Alex's grin faded as the inner gate behind him rumbled open. The ground shook. The pickery lumbered out like a nightmare made flesh. 12 feet tall, 6 legs, tusks like spears, and armored hide sculpted by evolution and cruelty. Its saliva hissed where it struck stone. Its roar rattled dust from the pillars. "Ah," Alex muttered, "so it's Tuesday." The announcer bellowed something in Korathi. The crowd shrieked. Gates slammed shut. Alex rolled his shoulders. Something glinted beneath his shirt. A chain with a dented, battered dog tag. Nothing ornate, just crude etchings. On the giant hollow screen, one alien squinted at the image. His skin paled. That tag, property of Cuss. Do not provoke. Echo 5 Special Projects, Hellgate Protocol, the alien whispered in horror. That program wasn't supposed to exist. Back in the pit, the pickery lowered its head, frothing with bloodlust. Alex looked up at the VIP booth. "Quick question. What's the refund policy if your pet loses?" The announcer sneered. "Speak your last words, human." Alex grinned. "Sure, got one for you." He tapped his chest where the tag hung. "Fetch." And then he ran toward the beast. The crowd gasped. Even the pickery hesitated, predator instinct scrambled by suicidal defiance. Alex slid under its tusks like a baseball player diving for home plate, snatched a ceremonial spike from the arena floor, and with uncanny precision drove it upward into a soft gap beneath the creature's armored spine. The monster shrieked. Alex rolled free, grabbed a cracked shield left behind from an earlier match, wedged it between 2 jagged rocks, and waited. The enraged pickery charged. It tripped, slammed headfirst into the wall. Silence. Alex brushed dirt off his pants. "Well, that worked." The audience erupted. Not applause, but confusion. Existential panic. In the stands, the alien who recognized the tag trembled. "That's not just a nameplate. Hellgate Protocol, that's classified. Shadow Division, beyond clearance." The kind of thing Earth pretends doesn't exist. Down in the pit, Alex climbed atop the unconscious beast. So, do I win a prize, or is this more of a die slowly anyway kind of deal? They turned to see Archivist Lorak at the threshold, clutching a thin slate etched with fragments of Earth intelligence. Protocol Hellgate, Lorak said grimly, stepping forward. It wasn't forged in our wars. It was born during theirs, the Terran civil eclipse. Humanity tore itself apart, and in the ashes, they built something no longer entirely human. The counselors shifted uneasily. He's ECH-05, Lorak continued. The files are fractured, but we intercepted enough of their field logs. 13 confirmed deployments, 8 ended with planetary regimes collapsing. And once, Lorak's jaw tightened. He made an entire mining colony believe they were being hunted by spirits. He hacked their lighting systems, laced in ancient horror recordings from Earth's archives, and projected whispers through the vents until the miners begged for evacuation. Counselor Sulin blinked. For what reason? Because, Lorak said flatly, the colony missed its lithium quota. Back in the arena compound, a squad of armored guards marched toward Alex Kane's cell. Reinforced plating, mirrored visors, and ion spears designed to cripple beasts 3 times his size. Varen saw them coming and immediately backed away. This feels like one of those moments where I should pretend to be asleep. Alex cracked his neck. Relax. If they wanted me dead, they wouldn't bring a parade. They want a conversation. The squad leader, a broad-chested Navari, stopped at the door. Human, with us. Alex eyed him. That helmet fit right, or did your skull just grow in sideways? No reply. The door hissed open. Alex stepped out, cuffs still locked around his wrists. He gave Varen a wink. Back soon. Keep my seat warm. But instead of the usual interrogation chamber, they led him into the empty arena. No crowd, no lights, just sand and silence. At the center stood a robed figure, Lorak. Alex Kane. He breathed calmly. Alex tilted his head. Guessing you're the president of my fan club? Lorak's voice carried no humor. I'm the only one trying to stop the council from vaporizing you. Touching, Alex said. So do you normally meet dangerous prisoners in giant colosseums, or am I just lucky? You're not just dangerous, Lorak replied. You're a paradox, a living violation of our threat index. Alex scratched his jaw. That come with a plaque. Or maybe a coupon book. You're Echo -5. Alex's grin thinned. People keep saying that like it's a curse. So tell me, what exactly is Hellgate Protocol? His amusement faded. His voice dropped cold. You ever build a weapon so terrible you bury it deep, hoping it never sees daylight? Then one day, you dig it back up because you're desperate enough to burn everything with it. That's Hellgate. Lorak said nothing. We weren't soldiers, Alex continued. We were the part of humanity you lock in a box. And if you ever open that box, you don't just lose your enemies. You lose yourself. He stepped closer. So no, Earth didn't start the wars. But when they end, we're usually still standing. And nobody sleeps easy afterward. Above them, the sky shimmered. The arena's central display flickered with static, red and blue interference cutting across the projection. What's happening? Lorak muttered. Alex didn't even look. 32 seconds early, the screen blared to life. A secure feed from the council's war chamber. An older human woman appeared, uniform sharp, one eye covered by a pale scar, gray hair tied back. This is General Arya Kale of the UNSF, she declared. To the Galactic Council, you seized one of ours. You made him your spectacle. Now you understand who he is. The guards froze. Lorak went pale. Kale's voice hardened. You should have checked the dog tag before you lit the arena lights. Alex smirked. Told you, we advise immediate reparations, Kale continued. Because if we come to collect him. The feed cut to black. One message remained on the giant display, blood-red letters blazing across the screen. Cerberus is awake. The silence that followed pressed heavier than any roar. Alex raised a brow at Lorak. So, do I still need to sign paperwork, or can we skip to the good part? Lorak didn't answer. He was already running. Alex stood alone in the empty arena, cuffs still tight around his wrists. He let out a long, tired breath. The problem with waking Cerberus wasn't putting it back in the cage. It was that Cerberus never wanted to go back. Satellite dish across the galaxy, General Kale's broadcast spread like wildfire. Every embassy, every fleet command, every backwater relay, within 12 seconds, the phrase Cerberus is awake was trending across 7 networks. By the 13th, 10 warships scrambled from Council orbit. Inside the observation chamber, High Analyst Ross clutched his pale membranes tight against his skull. He hasn't even left the arena, and 7 systems have already declared neutrality. Counselor Rex slammed his spined fist. Why wasn't Earth flagged as a Class Red threat? Because, Lorak said hollowly, Earth never filed anything. It just bred monsters, and kept them quiet. We stamped, unremarkable, on their entry file. Dross whispered, what do we do now? Lorak swallowed hard. Pray he leaves. Down below, Alex sat in a holding pen once meant for pit beasts. An insult, or poetry. His cuffs had finally been removed. Not out of trust, out of recognition. Shackling him now was like chaining a hurricane. Varen appeared at the gate, nervous as ever. They're talking about offering you compensation. A diplomatic package. Did you mean to start a galactic crisis? Alex calmly laced up boots someone had returned to him. Didn't plan it, just figured the council should learn. Actions have consequences. Humans don't like being turned into livestream bait. Varen fidgeted. So you're not here on a mission? Alex gave a sideways glance. Varen, I'm always on a mission. I just don't always know what it is, until it throws the first punch. The door creaked open again. A new figure entered, tall, armored head to toe in matte black plating. The insignia etched in silver across her chest was unmistakable, UNSF Cerberus unit. Alex rose slowly. Well, hell, thought you guys were disbanded. The soldier removed her helmet, sharp-eyed, blonde, gaze unimpressed. You're impossible to clean up after, Kane, she said flatly. Alex grinned. Darla, still rocking the angry gym coach look, still treating Black Ops like Saturday morning cartoons. He lifted his cuffed hands in mock surrender. Hey, I didn't ask for an intergalactic death match. I just made the most of it. Darla tossed him a small black device. Authorization beacon. Once it sinks, we ghost out. Council won't be able to track us. Alex caught it, studied the blinking light. You didn't come alone. No, Darla said. We brought the van. Alex's grin widened. The van wasn't a vehicle. It was what Cerberus veterans called an orbital drop pod, AI-piloted artillery with 0 diplomatic filters. Why now? Alex asked, voice quieter. Darla frowned. Because Cerberus isn't supposed to exist. Because the galaxy doesn't need to know Earth still keeps wolves on leashes. Silence stretched, heavy with memories. Before they were ghosts, before wars turned them into bedtime threats whispered across the stars. Footsteps echoed again. This time it was a delegation. A slug-bodied envoy slithered forward with a scroll in his tendrils. Alex Kane, he intoned. You are hereby offered full exoneration, diplomatic escort, and… Alex cut him off with a sharp smile. Save it. You don't get to torture people for entertainment, then wave a cruise voucher like everything's fine. The envoy hissed, you're destabilizing the balance. A wild card, your very presence. Good, Alex said, his grin sharpened into something predatory. That means I'm doing my job. Varen blinked. What is your job? Alex tilted his head, to remind the galaxy we're not the ones who flinch. The beacon in his palm pulsed green. The chamber walls trembled. Above, the sky cracked. One by one, black ships uncloaked in the atmosphere. No insignia, no IDs, just sleek shapes built for war. The van was descending, loud, unstoppable. The envoy lifted his gaze. You would risk war against us. Alex Kane didn't answer. He didn't need to. Lyra's voice cut through the comms. Extraction in 90. Move. Alex turned to Varen. Well, Hartner, looks like our time's up. Varen stepped closer. You could stay, negotiate. Earth could open an embassy. Alex's tone softened. That door closed the moment you lock me in a cage. Earth doesn't forget that. Varen hesitated. Will you start a war? Alex thought, then shrugged. Not today. He walked past. The guards didn't stop him. They had no orders, and more importantly, no courage. At the landing zone, the drop pod slammed onto the ground with a metallic thud. Its side door opened. Lyra stood waiting, hand outstretched. "Next time," she said dryly, "maybe try blending in." Alex clasped her hand, pulled himself up, and grinned. "Hey, I wore the ugly jumpsuit, didn't I?" The pod door sealed shut, engines roaring as they lifted into orbit. Through the viewport, the arena shrank into nothing, distant, meaningless. "They'll chase us," Lyra warned. Alex leaned back against the wall. "Let them. Maybe this time they'll remember why we buried Cerberus in the first place." Above the planet, black ships shifted formation and vanished into hyperspace. The message was clear. Earth was no longer weak. Earth was no longer silent. And its name was ECH-05. Space rippled around the Hellgate fleet, dark hulls sliding through the void, silent predators with no banners, no mercy. These weren't ships built to impress. They were built to end things. Each one thrummed with suppressed violence, like caged beasts waiting to be unleashed. Inside the command pod, Alex sat with his helmet beside him, the air carrying the scent of burnt graphite and gun oil, memories carved into his lungs. Across from him, Lyra methodically cleaned her rifle, her focus cold and precise. "They're mobilizing." Alex raised a brow. "How many?" "6 fleets, 10 blockade corridors. At least 4 assassination contracts already have your name on them." Alex smirked. "Only 4. I'm slipping." Lyra's tone sharpened. "You rattled the entire council. The moment they saw the dog tag, 10 species activated evacuation drills. 1 sect already declared you a sign of the apocalypse." Alex chuckled. "Let me guess. The Glorans. They always did love their doom prophecies." Lyra finally looked at him. "They're not backing down. The council doesn't know how to process you. You're not a general, not a diplomat, you're not even officially alive in half their archives." "I'm a story," Alex said quietly. "And they thought it was just a myth." Outside, armored Cerberus operatives stood by the doors, faceless, voiceless, conditioned for war. Not a team, a weapon, Earth's last card. The fleet loomed at the border of council space. One wrong move, and it would be war, the kind no treaty could end. Lyra's voice dropped. "Command wants a message sent." Alex's eyes didn't flinch. "Then make it one they'll never forget." On the capital world of Sora, chaos consumed the council chamber. Holograms stuttered, aides shouted into unanswered comms, evacuation protocols scrolled by too fast to read. "They're ignoring diplomatic channels," someone cried. "They don't need to," hissed Sulan. "That was the point. No banners, no warning. That's Hellgate's message." High Analyst Duras slammed his tablet down. "We should have erased the footage. The broadcast triggered riots on 6 allied worlds. We brought this on ourselves. We threw him in an arena," Lurk snapped. "Like he was nothing." "No," said Lorak, voice low. "He was the leash Earth kept on itself. And you cut it." The chamber fell silent as a new feed forced itself onto every display. Alex Kane's face filled the screens. No armor, just black fatigues, a single dog tag glinting. His voice was calm, steady. "This is Alex Kane, Echo 5 of Earth's Cerberus program. You caged me, you called humans primitive, you tried to kill me for sport. Listen closely. Earth doesn't care about your titles or your councils. What we care about is the message." Behind him, a massive warship uncloaked, sleek, bristling with weapons no one could identify. Alex held up the dog tag. "You called us fragile. You forgot one thing. Humans make monsters too." The broadcast shifted without permission, hijacking every galactic channel. Screens flickered and reloaded, revealing the same arena Alex had been thrown into days ago. Now it was burning. Cerberus pods crashed into the pit, soldiers spilling out with mechanical precision, planting perimeter beacons and igniting flags of fire. A snarling, three-headed hound etched in white flame. Alex landed last, boots hitting sand. His voice thundered. "This was the stage where you mocked us. Now it's Earth's soil, effective immediately. This arena is claimed under Article 9 of Interstellar Prisoner Law. You wanted a show, here's your finale." He drew his revolver, a custom, brutal weapon. One pull of the trigger, and the reinforced arena wall imploded, collapsing in on itself. Behind the dust, Earth's insignia glowed, its claim projected in 90 languages. In the council chamber, someone whispered. "They've taken council ground." "No," Lorak said hoarsely. They've sanctified it. Later, Alex stood atop the arena wall as Lyra joined him, helmet off. They'll never forgive this. They weren't going to before, Alex replied. She studied him. You think this changes anything? Alex watched as Cerberus operatives turned the arena into a monument of fire and steel. He unclipped the dog tag from his neck, staring at it. You know what the real Hellgate protocol was. It wasn't the training, or the implants, or the missions. He dropped the tag into the sand. It landed with a sharp clink. It was this: send one of us. Just one, and watch how fast the galaxy remembers it's made of glass. He glanced at Lyra, a faint smile tugging his lips. Let's go home. Together they ascended into the waiting ship. Far below, the dog tag lay gleaming in the arena's heart, a relic, a warning. Around it, orbital lasers carved a message into stone. This is Earth's line, cross it at your peril. And across the stars, where tyrants schemed and monarchs ruled, one truth was learned too late. You don't throw a Cerberus into a pit and expect it to stay there.